Welcome back everyone. Following Klay Thompson going to Dallas, the Lakers have no other choice but to go in a different direction. And well, many believe that direction to be Demar Derozan. After all, it would not be the first time they have been linked to each other, let alone even the third or fourth. Their connection goes all the way back to the summer of 2021, where they nearly made a sign and trade for him, though they ultimately ended up going with Russell Westbrook. And yeah, I think we all know how that one turned out. But before we get too far into all of it, don't forget to check out g2a.com for the best deals in your favorite games, credits, and everything digital entertainment. You can check them out in the video description down below. But getting back to our topic here, and with Demar Derozan now being 3 years older compared to back in 2021 and still not being a great fit, would he really be their best option? I mean, beggars cannot be choosers, but I'm really not sure that he would be, and especially if we're talking about fit. Now, I'm not saying they should completely ignore him, but I would also not go out of my way to acquire him, meaning I would not be willing to give up trade assets for him through a sign and trade, let alone even make a sign and trade for him, as that would require them to give a near 35-year-old Demar Derozan a 3-year contract. And yes, that is the bare minimum that you can give a player through a sign and trade. But again, I would definitely not completely ignore him. If for whatever reason he would be willing to take their mid-level exception given that LeBron takes a pay cut, then hey, go ahead and do it. There would not be nearly as much risk by doing that compared to making a sign and trade for him, and at that point, I would be okay with doing it. Though in reality, I simply do not believe that Demar Derozan would be. We have gone through this situation multiple times in the past now. A star player claims they are willing to take the mid-level assign with the Lakers, only to sign a bigger contract with a different team shortly after. Now, I'm not sure that Demar Derozan is trying to use them here, but I really don't think that he would take that contract. I'd love to be wrong about it, but I simply don't see it happening. And with that being said, where could they turn to instead? Well, they are currently running out of options in the free agent market, but there is still plenty of them in the trade market. And not only that, but a number of them that they have been linked to, including guys like Brook Lopez, Jeremy Grant, and perhaps my favorite target, Cam Johnson. Following the Brooklyn Nets trading Mikal Bridges, I imagine that pretty much everybody on their team is available. And in my opinion, Cam Johnson would be a great addition to their team, let alone any contending team at all. He's simply a guy that contributes to winning, and especially in the modern NBA, being an absolutely elite three-point shooter, while at the same time being a good defender. No, he might not be the big name that Demar Derozan happens to be, but he is without a doubt the better fit, and not to mention over half a decade younger too, which is yet another thing we need to keep in mind here. After all, we don't want to flashback to the 2021-22 NBA season, where the Lakers front office got caught up in big names over age and fit. And that to me is what might happen if they go after a guy like Demar Derozan. No, definitely not to the same degree, but we already know that pathway can be a dangerous one. And with that being said, I would be very intrigued about pivoting toward Cam Johnson, especially with the Brooklyn Nets having reported interest in a reunion with D'Angelo Russell, making them one of the very few teams that value him through a trade, and that can make them a good trade partner. Though what kind of trade can they hope to make here? Let's talk about it. And beginning with Cam Johnson, they have a couple of pathways to make it work. One of which being with them trading D'Lo, Hood Schifino, Christian Wood, along with draft compensation for Cam Johnson alone. Though another option would be trading D'Lo with either Gabe Vincent or Jared Vanderbilt, though I'm really not a big fan of that one, as they will be trading either both of their point guards, or they will be trading their best swing defender, neither of which are very intriguing. But again, I would think about trading a combination of them for Cam Johnson. Like I referred to before, the guys need an elite three-point shooter, and with them missing out on Klay Thompson, then he might be their next best option. We are talking about a 39.2% high-volume three-point shooter, and not to mention a 44% career corner three-point shooter, the literal definition of reliable three-point shooting. And of his 6.1 attempted three-point shots per game last season, 4.8 of them were the catch-and-shoot variety, where he knocked down 42% of them. I can only imagine how good he would look getting wide-open shots from both LeBron and Anthony Davis. I mean, if he can do that in Brooklyn, then what can he do with an elite playmaker, let alone multiple guys that would draw attention away from him? Yeah, that could be a deadly combination. And unlike Klay Thompson, they would not be only getting three-point shooting here. In fact, Cam Johnson kind of resembles a young Klay Thompson, the elite three-point shooting version of him that can also be regarded as a great defender, which is pretty much the definition of Cam Johnson. No, he might not have the overall scoring ability of a young Klay Thompson, but he does everything well in regard to 3-and-D ability, and well, that's something the Lakers could certainly use more of. Again, he might not get talked about very much, but he has quietly become one of the best 3-and-D role players in the entire league, something the Lakers definitely need more of. we all know about their need for more two-way players. But then at the same time, everybody freaks out when a big name becomes available despite them being a one-way player, much like the fanbase is doing with Demar Derozan right now. And that to me would be making a lateral move for their team. They should be trying to balance out their team here, not going all in on their offense. Now don't get me wrong, it's never a bad thing to have more offensive ability on your team, but you gotta make sure they can fit with LeBron and Anthony Davis. And unlike Demar Derozan, Cam Johnson would be a guarantee to fit with them. And not only on offense, but on defense too, where he would once again outshine Derozan in the fit department, being a much better defender than him at this point, although having multiple years before he'll likely start declining. In my opinion, they would be hard pressed to find a better fitting trade target, and especially if we were talking about a wing player. Jeremy Grant might have a solid argument, but then again he has a much more bloated contract, is 2 years older, and then not to mention the lack of commitment he has shown to playing defense lately. Though if not for Cam Johnson, another two-way wing they could look to trade for could be his teammate, Dorian Finney-Smith. Now I'm not sure I'd look to trade D'Lo for him, but then again it might be an opportunity to save their draft picks, although giving them a little more financial flexibility. And not only that, but they would in fact be trading a one-way player for a two-way player. Again, I don't think that Dorian Finney-Smith is a better player than D'Lo, but he does have Embiid in the two-way department. Though in my opinion, this could be an opportunity to trade not only one of their one-way players, but potentially two of them, which they could do by trading D'Lo and Hachimura for both of Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith. Now they might be downgrading the points per game department, but they'll be upgrading on defense, remaining pretty much the same with their three-point shooting, and then swapping two one-way players for two two-way players. I'm not sure I'd want to trade both D'Lo and Hachimura, as I really do value team continuity, but it would be an opportunity for them to balance out their team, while at the same time opening up another spot on their 15-man roster, which they could then put towards signing a different player with their mid-level exception. And I really don't think that's too far-fetched. Now, any big trade at all can take some luck, but the Brooklyn Nets are an open market right now. I imagine that literally everybody on their team is available apart from maybe Cam Thomas. And with that being said, I would like to see the Lakers go after Cam Johnson. He is what many Laker fans thought they would be getting with the current version of Klay Thompson, and in my opinion, he would have to be one of, if not the best available fit for them right now in the trade market. And then with Brooklyn maybe being the only team that wants D'Lo, I think it's simply too good of an opportunity to pass up, or at the very least I'll look into, which would be a big time missed opportunity in my opinion. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about a deal involving Cam Johnson? Would you like it more than a sign and trade involving Demar Derozan, or do you think they should look in a different direction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.